So here we are at the iconic Make Way for Duckling statue in the Boston Public Garden. It's a really popular tourist attraction, as you can see, but it's kind of tucked away, so it's a little bit hard to find.
Like international studies?
Okay, like international studies, but once you find it, it's so worth it. And just like I'm your tour guide today, I can be your tour guide through international studies. We have a huge spreadsheet of lists for you guys to comb through, so let's get started.
Welcome to International Studies Course Mastery 101. This module should take you about 25 to 30 minutes to complete. It includes this video on course mastery, another one on product mastery with a word from the author, and then 2 activities and a short quiz. Today we're going to discuss the ins and outs of international studies. Along the way, we'll cover common course outcomes and goals, understanding where and how to find the course, assessing the different needs of instructors and where we can offer solutions, and helping to ease any apprehension you may have in calling on IS instructors and knowing the difference between IR and IS. So let's get started. Who takes this course? So it's a course that's taken by both majors and non-majors, but is traditionally taken by freshmen and sophomores. This grid shows that about 35,000 students take this every year, but it's definitely a growing course. So what do students learn in the International Studies course? Well, it takes an interdisciplinary approach to solving global problems. IS looks at a lot of the same issues as international relations, but instead of looking at them through theoretical lenses, international studies courses look at them from the points of view of various different disciplines like sociology, geography, and anthropology. These courses are often taught by political scientists, but tend to attract a lot of non-majors or students from other departments, so the course needs to look at the issues in more ways than just from a political science perspective. IS courses also take a look at all of the different non-governmental actors that have a hand in solving global issues beyond just the countries themselves, such as international nonprofits and humanitarian aid workers. So where are we finding international studies? What is the course called? So most of the time it's going to be called International Studies, Global Studies, Globalization, or Global Issues. There's a few other variations, but typically they're going to say international or global in the title. Like we said before, a political scientist usually teaches this course, and many times it can be found in political science departments. However, it could also be found in one of your more international focused departments, such as an international studies, international affairs, or global studies full department. It could also be cross-listed, or a course that's more of a gen ed requirement and taught out of a more general social science department. And it can get even more murky because some instructors may actually teach a course called Introduction to International Relations, but they find traditional IR materials too theoretical. They would rather something more interdisciplinary, and that's okay. Some instructors prefer to use an IS book for their Intro to IR course, so if Scott and Now aren't working, try the IS route. Ask them how they like to teach the course. If they're saying things like their students can't handle much theory, or they get a lot of non-majors, so they like to incorporate interdisciplinary materials, then an international studies text may be for them. The takeaway is when you're calling on an instructor in poli-sci, ask, do you have a course offered here in international studies? If it's not in the political science department, do you know where it is? Even if it isn't housed in political science, your poli-sci professors should be able to point you in the right direction. Let's talk about course outcomes. So outcomes can vary from school to school, instructor to instructor, and book to book, but CQ Press has distilled the outcomes for IS into this short list. The following represent the end goals of almost every IS instructor. So they want students to be able to effectively apply reading, writing, critical thinking, and analytical skills to address significant issues in the natural and human world. This is an issue-based course, not focusing on relationships like IR, but instead it looks at what the underlying problems in this world are that cross borders. And how can we solve those problems without a centralized global government? They also want students to be able to describe the impact of international events and systems at the regional, national, and local levels. Current events is just as important here in international studies as it is in IR. What international studies strives to do is make the global issues more relevant by connecting them to local issues that affect the students that are actually reading the texts. They want students to feel empowered to take informed and responsible action to address ethical, social, and environmental challenges in global systems. IS is less on theory and more on action. Many students go on to learn other languages, travel and study abroad, and work with NGOs to help bring about change. This is a very careers and experience-focused course. Instructors want students to blend knowledge, skills, and analytical reasoning to implement sophisticated, appropriate, and workable solutions to address complex global problems. Critical thinking and analysis is important in this course because effectively we're trying to solve problems, not decipher theories like in IR. And lastly, instructors need to apply interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary approaches to their analysis of issues of international, comparative, or global significance. IS is historically a combination of many different courses, from economics and human rights to geography, history, and even sociology. The world is complex and interdisciplinary in itself, and so this course has to be as well. Once you find the course, there are plenty of needs on the part of the instructors in order to meet the course outcomes we just talked about. The first is the need for current events. Our books are on roughly 3-year cycles to capture the most recent current events updates. Remember, too, that we're looking to launch a lecture spark for fall 2018 that specifically focuses on international politics. This will be relevant for all of your IR, IS, and comparative instructors. The second is a focus on interdisciplinarity. Remember, a lot of these students are coming from all different majors, and they want to see how what they're studying also ties into world problems and how to solve them. Relevancy is so important in this course. It makes some of these events that are so far removed from the student feel more important and like it directly affects their lives. Career guidance is also key. These students are focused on their future and on gaining experience and skills they need to make a difference. So the differences between international relations and international studies can be a little confusing, but if it helps, remember it this way. International relations focuses on the relations portion, looks at relationships between state actors, and seeks to explain them through theory. International studies focuses more on the studies aspect. It treats this global course as a jumping off point for students to understand how the world works from an interdisciplinary level, and also looks to find out where they can help or make an impact on some of the issues affecting the world today. So next we're going to dig deeper into our newest offering for the IS course by Strauss and Driscoll. And we'll take a closer look at the specific differences at the table of contents level between international studies and international relations texts.